We are live with another episode of the Evolution Franchising Podcast. My name is Mike Welch, the founder of Evolution Franchising. We help people find and evaluate and fund great franchise opportunities. Our guest today is a dear friend of mine, Sharon Cupach. She is the Vice President of Franchise Development with Happinest. And Sharon, why don't you go ahead and tell the people a little bit about who you are and what you've done?
Thanks, Mike. Gosh, I'm just so thrilled to be asked to be on this podcast with you. This is exciting stuff.
Oh, it's our pleasure. We love you. Everybody does.
Everybody loves you too, buddy. So Sharon Cupach, Vice President of Franchise Development for Happinest Brands, been in franchising 25 years, long time, kind of like a mama in franchising.
Started very young.
I did. I was maybe 10 when I started. And really just kind of fell into it. I mean, it was not on purpose, but it was my passion. It's been my life. It's what I love every day. I still love to get up in the morning and come up to my office and do what I do. My true passion within franchising is taking brands and lifting them. And taking a new brand, a baby brand, and just watching it grow and bringing in the best possible people. I've had my own consulting company for a part of that 25 years where I lifted multiple emerging brands all at one time. Yeah. And I've worked for some really great companies, mostly in the service industry, a couple brick and mortars, but mostly service industry.
Right. So tell us a little bit about Happinest.
So Happinest, boy, things are exciting right now at Happinest. I just spent a week at our corporate office, and Happinest is a company that owns, a parent company that owns Lawn Doctor, which is a 55-year-old business, household name. Big, huge, super successful, kind of like a McDonald's kind of name. And the Mosquito Hunters we acquired underneath Happinest in 2019, grew it from, which is mosquito abatement services, grew it from 6 units to now well over 140 units. So really nice growth there. It's doing awesome, really successful brand. And then we acquired EcoMaids at the end of 2019, launched it out right when COVID hit. And we started with 2 franchisees. One is our CEO, which is super cool to have a CEO that's actually a franchisee. Yeah. And now we are just shy of 100 units, over 40 franchisees, and it's not slowing down anytime soon.
So you guys have grown a maid business beginning in COVID, at the beginning of COVID, from 2 locations to almost 100.
Yes,
I would say that qualifies you as a catalyst for growth, my friend.
We love it. We love it. But last week we just officially acquired 2 more brands in home beautification, outdoor home beautification, and that's about all I could.
Are you just going to tease these? We're not going to talk about them. Okay.
Yeah, we're going to launch them out when they're ready. Which will be early 2023. Super pumped about it. And the goal really for Happinest is to build to kind of be the home advisor of home services and grow to about 15 different brands. But what we do is find brands that have an amazing founder, a young, amazing founder that wants to take it to the next level and use Happinest resources. So Happinest is centralized. So all of our brands take advantage of the marketing strategies, the technology, the sales center. We do the selling for all of our owners. So that really drives costs down because we're collectively purchasing our relationships, and the owners reap the benefit of that.
No doubt. So I think today we're going to focus the rest of our time on EcoMaids, right?
Yeah.
Well, why don't you take it away? What's going on in EcoMaids?
Well, EcoMaids is my little baby. I love it. And as I mentioned, we started when there was 2 franchisees. It was a really interesting time. Our very first discovery day was the day that COVID hit in the middle of March. So we canceled it, went virtual, had a virtual discovery day. I'd already been in New Jersey, had to fly home, the whole thing. It was just insane. And it's been such a fun ride. The owners that have been attracted to this business are amazing, all like C-level, highly educated, really smart folks that want to invest in an industry that was disrupted by EcoMaids. EcoMaids is a eco-friendly, entirely green, science-based cleaning, residential, light commercial cleaning brand. So how we learn to clean from our moms is not how EcoMaids cleans, because everything we do is entirely based on the science of the product in order to get the result that the customer is looking for. So it's a whole different spin on cleaning, but the best part is it employs people safely,
Hmm.
gives them the opportunity in this labor level to not get sick. It keeps families safe by not putting toxic chemicals on their surfaces and in their air. And ultimately, as a result, it saves the planet. So it's a real feel good kind of business in this industry.
Yeah. So is that what makes you guys unique from a customer facing standpoint? Is the fact that it's eco friendly and it's non toxic products that are being used in the house?
I
I mean,
think that
that's a huge differentiator.
it is the carrot that dangles the customer for sure. They're super excited about, especially since COVID. Everybody's a germaphobe now. Everybody's sick of smelling
It's
bleach.
true.
Right? You want it, you want to be safe in your home. Most people work from their home now, a lot of people. So it makes a difference that we're using safe products, which are our products, by the way, which in itself is a differentiator. But from a consumer facing, it is thoughtful cleaning. It makes people feel good that they know their dog can lick the floor after giving them a treat, or their kid can make a sandwich on the counter and nothing's going to happen. And we're not going to ruin their furniture or any of their surfaces because there's no ingredients that are corrosive. There's no unnecessary dyes. So we don't add any fun perfumes to our products to make it smell like lemons or gardenias. That's not necessary. Clean has no smell. Dirt has smell. So we
Yeah.
truly believe we're not greenwashing. Like everything in our business is sustainable, reusable, recyclable, and green and eco-friendly. Everything.
I remember the first time I ever heard you talk about this. Like you had just gotten involved with the brand, and I know you and I know what you do with franchise brands. And when you described this to me, you did it with such enthusiasm and vigor. And anytime I feel like I want to buy one of those, it's generally a pretty good indicator of how it's going to do in the market. And that's not just me. I'm not the only litmus test, but your enthusiasm about it got me going. I knew this thing was going to be a rocket ship. So it's clear the differentiation in the marketplace. What are you guys doing? Happiness is kind of known for, high levels of franchise support, right? It's not that you can't be unsuccessful in a Happiness brand, but it's that you've completely not followed the system if you are, right? So
Yeah.
how are you guys innovating from a franchisee support standpoint with EcoMaids?
Oh gosh, do we have like 2 hours to talk
We've
because
got like 8 minutes or
yeah,
nine.
because the list is really long. But specifically for EcoMates, there's two really new hot support mechanisms that we've put in place. So when we realize this is an employee-centric business, it's not like you're hiring 50 people, you're hiring 2 by 2 by 2 by 2. So it's super manageable to do. And you'll probably end up with somewhere around 25 employees by the time it's all said and done. So it's
Full
not
org chart 25 or
yeah,
so.
so it's
Big.
not
Yeah.
unreasonable,
Mhm.
right? But what we
That's a
realized,
big business at 25 employees, right? Yeah.
yes, it is, yes. So what we realized is the owners needed to have a unfair advantage. They needed to be an employer of a choice in order to attract the right employees that are going to retain their positions, because recruiting and retention go hand in hand, but retention is the real challenge, right? It's keeping the employees. So we did a couple things. We launched healthcare benefits for not only our franchisees, which is I've never been able to say that in 25 years, not
I've
once.
never been able to say it ever. Yeah.
No, it's huge and it's good insurance. It really helps the new owner because typically they don't have it.
You can't imagine, Sharon, how often people ask, if I join this franchise, will they have health insurance? The answer is obviously no, they never do.
Mhm.
You guys do.
Yes. Yeah.
That's huge from a franchisee recruitment. And I think I interrupted you. You're about to say something that I think is really neat, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, so it's not only good for the franchisee, but it's an attractive benefit for the employees,
That's
right?
what I thought you were going to say. You
Mhm.
guys are offering the franchisees insurance that they can purchase and provide to their employees.
Yes, and it's super reasonable and it's good insurance. It's a good benefit if somebody wants it. So a lot of our owners, they either pay for it for the employee. If the employee wants to add on to the system, onto their program, they can add on. Or they pay maybe 50% of it, which is still doable. Still
That
doable.
is cool. That
Mhm.
is different. That is, we talk, how are you innovating? That's
Right.
innovation. You said there was
Right.
a second thing, insurance. Like, how do you top that? How are we going to follow that one up?
I can top it.
Okay.
So trust me, Mike.
Of course you can.
So, so we have a really unique way to help our owners recruit for employees, and it's based on data. We micro target specific like labor employees or people, lookalike people
Hmm.
in their zip codes, and we attract them to possibly a better opportunity. So this is just one way that we help. So this generates on average about 100 resumes a month per owner, right? Here's the problem. They get all of these qualified resumes, but they're so busy with the demand and
Yeah, but that's
they
not it's a good problem. I guess it's still a problem, but I mean, that's the kind of problems we like.
well, sure, it is the kind of problems we like, but if you don't call these resumes, and it's for naught, right?
Yeah, they're no good.
So we said, okay, we'll fix that. So we brought in an in-house recruiter that
Love it.
now works on behalf of our owners. If the owner wants to participate in it, it's super reasonable. And they take them through the entire education process, get them excited about working for EcoMaids, talk about the culture of the owner, which is so key in retention, is team culture, and then do the initial interviews with them, tell them what they're going to be paid, tell them how hard work it is, how much fun it can be, and then literally set up that hiring interview for the owner so that they can then save all of that time to be working on team building, working on customer relationships, working on community events and being part of the community. So it totally gives the owner so much free time to be able to focus on things. And that's all about happiness. Happiness does so much to take off the owner's plate to allow them the opportunity to focus on what they need to be focusing on in a home service brand, which
Sharon,
is
I find myself like I'm sitting in my seat. That what's going through my mind as you're talking is don't overreact. Don't overreact. Don't overreact. But I will tell you, whoever's watching this podcast, if you're new to franchising, this is not par for the course. This is exceptional, absolutely world-class franchise support that we're talking about here. Now, Sharon, for the sake of pace, you and I could talk for 4 or 5 hours about this topic alone. This is amazing. For the sake of pace, without going into the numbers, how are the franchisees doing?
So the franchisees are growing. They're young, right? Everybody in our system is super young, like 2 years and under. So they're still in fast scale right now, really fast scale. Goal is to get them to monthly break even by the end of their first year. And then from there, turn the corner to profitability. I have owners that are now semi-absentee already. I have owners that have their infrastructure in place. I have owners that are going into their second year with 4 to 5 teams. I mean, it is aggressive, and the owners are trying to stay with the demand. It's hard because there's
At
a lot.
this stage of growth, you guys are in that, just the ladder, the roller coaster is clicking up, 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 up,
Yeah.
up, 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 up,
Yep.
up. And then you guys are going to reach the franchisees will reach a point where it's just a fun ride from there. It's, not that there's not work, but I mean, right now they're doing all the heavy lift. Are they
Right.
happy in that heavy lift phase?
It's
That's
yeah, I think overall they are. I'll be transparent and honest and say, because that's me, right?
yeah,
Is a straight shooter, is to say like this is an aggressive scale. It grows at a clip, and that's hard. It's a lot of up and down the first year, that roller coaster, but there's so much support. Their business coach holds their hand. We give them everything they need. We do all of their marketing for them. We sell for them. Like we take everything
that's
we can
amazing.
off their plate. Yeah. So, do they have good and bad days? Sure. But are they glad they did this? I really think they are.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so absolutely. This seems to come up with every single franchise executive that we talk with, right? There is no such thing as a free lunch. There are hard days as a business owner. There are bad days as a business owner. If you're going to get to a point where you're thinking about pulling the trigger on a business, franchise or not, franchise has a lot of support that you wouldn't get by yourself, like you're hearing Sharon talk about. But you have to have the mindset that it's not if, it's how, right? I'm either going to go over it, I'm going to go around it, or I'm going to go through it, right? I always use the quote from Luke 12:48: to whom much is given, much is required.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
um, that's real. So if you're going to join EcoMaids, buckle up. It's a fast ramp, is what I'm hearing you say.
That's exactly true. And I'll tell you, when my franchisees graduate training, I always give them my little sage advice. Hopefully it's sage. And one of those things is you got to want it more. On those days, you just got to want it more. You
Yes.
got to have grit, because it's gonna be hard, but boy, it'll pay off. You work hard now, it pays off in dividends.
So almost 100 opened through. I laugh when I say that, through COVID
Mhm.
to today. How many in development right now?
We have 4 that are going through training next month, and we have 12 that are in final discovery and contract phase. So
Okay.
I mean, we're still bringing in some really great people. The other thing that's really interesting about this brand is it's very E2 friendly, with owners. E2
Yeah,
visa.
and so E2 would be an immigration visa
Mhm.
to buy a business. I should
Mhm.
maybe, you know what, maybe we should do a podcast just talking about E2 visas.
I would love to. We have about 10 of them in our system. Like,
Yeah,
it's a
that's
good business. Yeah.
that's
Good
for a different
owners.
day.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's certainly something worth thinking about. So what's your dream candidate?
Oh my
I know you guys
gosh.
don't, it can't just be fog a mirror, write a check. We know that about you guys. That won't work. So
No,
what's your
no,
dream
it's a
candidate look
it's
like?
a serious vetting process, probably one of the strictest that I've ever been a part of, which is awesome. I love that.
Yeah.
Certainly integrity based, but the owners that I see that are excelling are roll your sleeves up and get in there. Most of our owners are C-level or product managers, engineers, good managers, care
Is
about their
it,
employees.
are they in khakis and an EcoMaids golf shirt every day, or is this a semi-absentee type of owner?
We are really working on the semi-absentee mindset, because we do believe that it can get there quickly, because as you scale as rapidly as you have to add infrastructure. You don't have a choice, because you can't do it all. So it gets to semi-absentee pretty quickly, but we're still working on how do we make sure that owner's investment from day one, if they hire a GM, how do we make sure that pays off for them?
So I
Because
think that knowing who you are in franchising is so important, right? Because it's all about replication. So if you had to wave a magic wand right now, would you want an owner run someone who's not gainfully employed by a Fortune 1000 company, or would you want to talk to that person as well?
I
Who
think
and who doesn't plan on leaving? Let me add that caveat. I'm gainfully employed. I don't plan on leaving.
yeah, so I like owner operators because it takes a lift. However, it really depends on the person. If they're a good, we have them in our other brands that work full-time jobs and they run this business. It's all about time management, right? It's about how can you make sure that you're loving on your business while you're doing your job. And so I'm open to those conversations every day, all day. And I am super honest about it. Like, look, this is what it's going to take. If you're going to hire somebody, it's going to take you longer to get to profitability. But if this is your path, like, let's talk about it.
I
So
think that that's your MO. It's certainly your reputation is, Sharon will tell you how it is, whether she thinks it's what you want to hear or not. Never with any malice. It's always with love in your heart. But you are a truth teller. There's no doubt
yes,
about that. So, and
yeah,
everybody appreciates
I
that,
don't
by the way.
sleep if I don't tell the truth. I just don't sleep. So
So Sharon Cupach, one of the best, good friend. I can't spend enough time around you. Thank you so much for being here with us. Why don't you take us home with any final thoughts about what you'd want somebody to know about EcoMaids?
Thanks. I think I'd just like to leave it, Mike. Firstly, thank you again for having me.
It's my pleasure,
It means
buddy.
a lot.
Thank you.
I think just as much of you for sure. You're a great friend. I think what I'd like to leave with is, look, if you're looking for a thoughtful business, if you want a business that can scale, if you want to be part of an umbrella that you can diversify your revenue streams by adding brands on top of brands on top of brands, in home services, don't go wide, go tall, because
Mhm.
it's all about density. It's not about miles. Don't take miles, go tall. So if you want to be part of an organization that is forward thinking, that can help you scale, that can give you every resource, then certainly any of our Happinest brands is right there. You should be talking to us. But EcoMaids is such a feel good, really thoughtful business that helps people in everywhere you touch, your employees, your community, your planet, like you personally as the owner. It's just a feel good. It's a weird widget. It's not sexy, but boy, the results are super sexy.
You know what's sexy?
Hmm.
Going to the bank.
Yeah, amen. Hmm.
All right, my friend. Thank you so much for being with us today. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Mike. Have a great
Bye,
day.
Sharon.